What happens when Hollywood's most volatile leading man steps onto a late-night stage designed for easy laughs only to turn it into a battlefield? Under the neon glow of Los Angeles, where laughter usually drowns out tension, a moment unfolded that no one in the audience or at home was prepared to witness. It was supposed to be routine. Another star promoting another film on Jimmy Kimmel Live. The cameras rolled, the band played, and the studio buzzed with the comforting rhythm of late-night television. The crowd had come expecting punchlines, banter, maybe a cheeky story about a disastrous audition. But when Tom Hardy sat opposite Jimmy Kimmel, something in the air shifted. Hardy didn't look like a man ready for jokes. Dressed in his trademark understated black, shoulders squared like a prize fighter, he radiated the kind of restrained energy that makes even silence feel dangerous. His reputation preceded him. A performer who doesn't just act but disappears into characters. A man celebrated for intensity both on-screen and off. Hollywood's dark night of intensity. Now face to face with the king of late-night mischief. And then there was Jimmy, the comic tactician. A host who built his empire by disarming A-listers with wit, never afraid to poke, prod, or roast until his guests broke into laughter. He had sparred with presidents, clowned with pop stars, even turned awkward interviews into viral gold. But tonight, as the lights dimmed and the audience cheered, he misread his opponent. He thought Hardy would play along. What followed was not banter. It was not comedy. It was confrontation, raw, unscripted, and impossible to turn away from. Within minutes, laughter froze into silence. And what was meant to be light entertainment spiraled into one of the most brutal exchanges ever broadcast from a late-night stage. Because Tom Hardy wasn't there to be the punchline. He wasn't there to let his craft, his choices, or his integrity become the butt of a joke. And when Jimmy Kimmel tried, Hardy pushed back with the force of a man who's carried darkness in his roles and knew exactly how to wield it in real life. This wasn't a late-night chat. This was a duel, and only one man would leave with his power intact. The curtain lifted on familiar rhythm. Jimmy Kimmel, master of late-night charm, opened with the same weapon he always carried, a disarming grin. The crowd roared on cue as he welcomed his guest, leaning into the microphone with the kind of mock seriousness that always made the audience laugh before the punchline even landed. Tom Hardy, ladies and gentlemen, a man so intense his morning coffee probably files for a restraining order. The room erupted. Hardy gave the polite half-smile expected of him, dipping his head in acknowledgement. On the surface, it looked like any other night in the neon cathedral of late-night comedy. At first, Hardy played along. He leaned back in his chair, arms crossed loosely, the hint of amusement tugging at the corner of his mouth. Kimmel riffed, tossing barbs about Hardy's brooding screen presence, his reputation for staying in character long after the camera stopped rolling. The audience ate it up. This was the game. The host teased. The actors smirked. Everyone laughed and the machine of entertainment kept humming. But then Jimmy pivoted, and in that pivot the laughter faltered. So Tom Kimmel began, voice dipped in faux innocence. I've got to ask, you're famous for this whole method thing, disappearing into these dark characters. But some people say it's not exactly healthy, that maybe you're glamorizing dangerous behavior. Any truth to that? The audience chuckled lightly, unsure if it was still a joke or the beginning of something else. The punchline never came. Hardy's smile didn't vanish, but it stiffened. Too still, too sharp. The jaw flexed, the eyes narrowed just a fraction, and suddenly the atmosphere shifted. What had been late-night banter started to feel like an interrogation under bright lights.